Come outside. Outside.
Who else is in the house, ma'am?
My 2 children and my husband.
Where's your husband at?
Calm down. Calm down.
You want the children down?
Calm them all down.
Mr. Jones, come down the stairs. Now!
Police, come down now.
Search warrant.
Bring your
Come down the
children.
stairs.
My children!
So what you just saw there was a disturbing clip wherein police officers entered the home of Rebekah Jones to seize her property in an effort to silence her and scare her children and her husband. You might be asking who she is. Well, she was a scientist already fired by the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, months ago now, because she was trying to tell the truth about COVID. That Ron DeSantis, who forever tried to deny that this was real or tried to suggest that red states had it under control and blue states didn't, well, when it started to look bad in Florida, he went to Rebekah Jones and said, make the case numbers look better than they are. And when she refused, she was removed from her position. Now, scientists often speak to a higher calling than the whims of right-wing, propagandizers like Ron DeSantis. So after she was removed, she took it upon herself to use all the data she could get, legal data. None of this, seizure is legitimate. Legal data available from Florida and other sources to provide her own daily updates on the state of the public health crisis in Florida. And she was making it look a lot worse than DeSantis was because she was telling the truth. And so that's what happened this afternoon. DeSantis' thugs were sent into her home to scare her children, to scare her and her husband, and to take her property in an effort, I don't think it's going to work, but in an effort to silence her, to prevent her from informing Floridians and Americans and the world about what's happening in one of the biggest and most important U.S. states. That's what happened there. Now, Rebekah Jones responded on Twitter, and I want to read this tweet out to you, or her series of tweets. I'll at least give you a summarized read of the tweets, where she says, there will be no update today. At 8:30 a.m. this morning, state police came into my house and took all my hardware and tech. They were serving a warrant on my computer after the Department of Health filed a complaint. They took my phone and the computer I use every day to post the case numbers in Florida and school cases for the entire country. They took evidence of corruption at the state level. They claimed it was about a security breach. This was DeSantis. This is what happens to scientists who do their job honestly. This is what happens to people who speak truth to power. I tell them my husband and my 2 children are upstairs, and then one of them draws his arms on my children. This is DeSantis' Florida. If DeSantis thought this was a good way to get me to shut up, he's about to learn just how wrong he was. I'll have a new computer tomorrow, and then I'm going to get back to work. If you want to help, my website is still at, and I'm going to give you a link to the tweet chain, which includes the link to that to that website, and I want you to go there and support her work. 100%. But the point here, the biggest point here, beyond this gross abuse of power by the Florida governor, by Republican officials in that state, is the hypocrisy and propaganda and doublespeak of the conservative movement. Because these are the same goddamn people, guys, who want you to believe that Bernie Sanders and AOC and Joe Biden and liberals and Democrats and scientists and activists are the ones trying to take your freedom. That wearing a thin piece of cloth around your face when you're in crowds and, you're indoors is really the greatest bit of tyranny since the British in 1776 is what they want to tell you, is what they want you to think, that it's these people that are ruining your society. You have, Matt Gaetz doing an illegal, event in New Jersey, then saying to people, come to Florida where you'll be free. But it's not freedom. It's part of the everyone sacrificing themselves to COVID. That's what it is. Because when people try to be free and express themselves and speak truth to power when it's inconvenient to Republicans and conservatives, they'll crush them. When people ask politely for conservatives to follow the regulations, they get attacked, maybe physically in some cases. These people do not want liberty. They do not want an escape from tyranny. They want their own tyranny levied on everybody else. The very same people that are just trying to ensure we don't all die to this. That's what's happening here. Rebecca Jones was trying as an individual woman, as an individual citizen and scientist, to get information out to people, to be a free expressing individual. And the governor of the Republican Party of this state, supposedly the freedom-loving party, sent the thugs after her to silence her. Never again let a Republican tell you, never again let a conservative tell you that, the mask is the symbol of tyranny. This moment is the symbol of tyranny, and it's against the people speaking the truth.